What up? You're watching another episode of Dallas Ebonics, where we talk black. And so today I want to talk about trauma, because I think it's important that we understand that our people have been traumatized, and we got to understand how that trauma affects us today. You know what I'm saying? And so I came across this thing called delayed onset PTSD, which is basically like you go through a traumatic event, but you don't see the effects of that trauma for like 6 months later, or maybe even years later. You know what I'm saying? And so as a culture, bro, I don't think that we really understand how traumatized we are, because we don't know what trauma look like. We think that trauma is, you know, in the corner, like shaking and shit, like tripping out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really understand what trauma look like. Number one being slavery. Our brains have been programmed to believe that anything that's white is better. Like we don't really understand like the way this whole system has been programmed to make black seem synonymous with negativity. When you say somebody has been blackmailed, black cats being bad luck, you know, the devil, you know, being red and black, God being pearly and white. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't understand how deep this get, the way that they psychologically do these things to convince us that we belong at the bottom, to convince us that something is wrong with us. We don't understand what they're doing. Like, for example, how our women wear European weaves, you know, our men wear European clothes, you know what I'm saying? We love European made anything, you know what I'm saying? Or like the fact that we have just rolled over and just accepted white supremacy as the law of the land. We just sat back and accepted white as the dominant race. Like, why have we just allowed them to just take over, bro? Like, for real though, bro, like when you really sit back and just look at the bigger picture, why are we allowing them to tell us what we can and can't do, to tell us where we can and can't go? Why have we just allowed them to make all the rules? I understand in a society you gotta have structure and all of that. Okay, I get all that. But I'm saying, why have we allowed them to be the ones to make all the rules for us? None of our people are in power, bro. Anywhere in the world, none of us are in power. Why are we allowing them to make the decisions for us? We are in control of our own bodies. These people don't own us. Why are we letting them tell us what to do? Where we can and can't go, what is and is not acceptable? We are our own individual people. But things like that all come from slavery, bro. But it's also important that we understand that slavery is not the reason our neighborhoods are like this, bro. Our neighborhoods are in the condition that they're in because, you know, back in the day, they burned down a lot of our cities, you know what I'm saying, killed our best and brightest, then followed that up with integration, which really destroyed even more of our economic power, and then the introduction of crack cocaine. On top of that, mass incarceration by Joe Biden, the president, by Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, which took a lot of our kids' fathers away. And so all of that added up together, amongst many other things, are the reason why our neighborhoods are like this. But it's still important to understand how slavery affected us. You know what I'm saying? It affected us more so psychologically than it did economically. You feel me? Number two, black murder. Black murder and black inferiority has been shoved down our throats from birth. From birth. Every time we see ourselves in movies, bro, we either gangsters, dope boys, slaves, the help, the crooked cop. We always something synonymous with negativity. Anytime we talk about black history, only thing that we even bringing up is slavery and us begging for civil rights. Like, we don't talk about no power. Like, we're not really celebrating anything powerful. We always seeing us disempowered and, you know, stepped on. I'm tired of seeing the same images of us, bro. I'm tired of seeing us at the bottom. We've been telling the same story. And not to mention, the record labels only promote filth and bullshit to our children. You know what I'm saying? I know it's easy for us to just blame the rappers and all of that, but being 100, bro, it's a lot of positive music out here, bro. Like, all over the place. It's a lot of nice, positive rappers. But it's the labels, bro. It's the record labels. It's the radio. It's the media. It's the TV. These people are purposely promoting bullshit to our kids. They want our images to be the negative ones on TV. bro, it's a new black person killed on TV every week. Every week, bro. I don't even tune in no more. It's so many of them, bro. I can't even keep track anymore. It's a new black person every week. They do the same thing every time. They show his mugshot on TV, or if they don't show his mugshot, they show him being murdered or stepped on or choked out or beaten by the police on TV all day long. They play it on social media all day long, over and over and over, constantly showing the murder of us all day long. They do this on purpose, bro. They do this on purpose. From what I understand, watching yourself lose does something to you psychologically. You know what I'm saying? Constantly seeing yourself murdered by the police, stepped on, choked out by the police, constantly seeing yourself not get justice by the American government, constantly seeing yourself ignored, constantly seeing yourself killed in the street, constantly seeing yourself negatively represented on TV. All of this stuff lowers your testosterone, bro. Not to get testosterone mixed up with some kind of sex hormone, because it's not. Testosterone is more so a man's drive for power. You know what I'm saying? And constantly seeing yourself lose decreases your testosterone. You know, they're trying to psychologically deter us from liberating ourselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't want what happened in the 50s and the 60s to happen again. That's why they killed all of them that was really making progress. That's why they got rid of them. Locked them up, killed them. They don't want that to happen no more. You know what I'm saying? And so they put these images out of us to psychologically keep us from ever thinking that we have any hope. This is purposely done. And from what I understand, it's also chemicals in the weed that lowers your testosterone too. But like I say, it is what it is. And it's important that we understand this stuff, bro. All of this stuff relates back to trauma. All of this stuff has to do with how we as a people have been traumatized. We don't understand how this trauma that we have been through is affecting us. And once we can acknowledge that, then we can be in a position to do something about it so we can fix it. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, we keep running around in a circle begging white folks to do this and this and that. White folks have done what they have done to us on purpose. And number 3, unstable homes. A lot of these kids out here is growing up, they mama's on dope. They daddy's in and out the penitentiary. They daddies ain't around. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids are growing up on their own. There was things I went through growing up, even though I had my mama, there was things that I just didn't feel comfortable telling my mama because I didn't feel like my mama was connected to me in that way. You know what I'm saying? We don't have any positive people in the community that we can connect with. If you can't connect with your parents, you out of there. That's how it go. If you can't connect with your parents, you out of there, bro. The only people that we see that have money and still live here be rappers. We don't see nobody else over here that's telling us to get any money and do anything progressive but rappers. The school gonna teach you how to be a slave. They not gonna teach you how to do anything progressive and get no money. They gonna teach you how to work for a white man. They gonna teach you how to get in debt. We don't have any progressive people here. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to understand these kids growing up in these communities that don't have nobody. Growing up, they seeing people get killed. They seeing people get robbed. They out here shooting at niggas. They getting shot at. These kids are growing up and they doing stuff. They going through stuff. They seeing stuff. And they don't have nobody to connect with. We have to understand what that is psychologically doing to them. And we have to understand what we need to do as people that quote unquote made it out. We got to understand what we need to do to keep those kids from passing down that trauma. And they make sure there's plenty of guns and drugs here to hopefully kill you before you ever able to wake up and realize what's going on. You know, they make sure that your kids end up in the streets, and then they give your kids all the tools that they need to destroy themselves. All of this stuff is psychologically done. We are not just inherently criminal. We are not inherently violent. All of this stuff is socioeconomics, bro. This stuff is being done on purpose. We have to understand that. And once we can wake up to that fact and acknowledge that, then we can start to see white supremacy's hand in different elements of our community. I'm saying all that to say this, bro. We really got to acknowledge the trauma. We got to acknowledge the trauma that us as a community have went through so that we can do something about fixing this. These neighborhoods, it doesn't make any sense, bro, why these neighborhoods look like this when we got all these millionaires and billionaires. But we ain't got to sit around crying about money, bro. We can do something about this ourselves. When you go get you a degree, come back. After you go to college and get in the NFL or the NBA, come back. Stop leaving. Stop going to these white neighborhoods because it's safer and stop leaving. Our kids need you here. Our kids need us. Our kids need positive, progressive role models. Our kids need positive role models. We don't have that. I didn't have that growing up. My role model was a gangster. I didn't have that. His role model was probably a gangster. He didn't have that. Stop taking your skills out the hood, bro. We need progressive people. So that's my 2 cents, bro. You know what I'm saying? Once we acknowledge the trauma, then we in a better position to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of things that we done dealt with as black people, and we ain't never really just had time to heal because we keep continuing to be brutalized and terrorized, you know. But it is what it is. We can sit around and cry about it, or we can come together and we can really start elevating the minds of these kids so that they understand the options that they have and the power that they have. I'm done with all that crying and complaining and begging, bro. Let's really focus on ourselves and do what we gotta do. It's 2021. So